well actually up in the top 5 there for a long period of time. He was in front of Mark Wicks at one stage as well. I think
Wicksy's dropped down. He's in 8th position.
Yeah, he's made a stop though. He's made a stop by look. So Wicky's made a stop.
Yes.
So I think he's come off of the option tyre and he's gone onto the prime tyre because he's got the yellow band around them. Yeah, so he's switched tyre compound here now. He's decided to get the options out of the way and he swapped over, but that could be fatal, especially if it starts raining anytime soon with those clouds rolling in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it starts raining, he's obviously, if it doesn't start raining, it's got a bonus. He's used both compounds, he's got that out of the way, but
something I'm finding quite surprising at the moment as well, Tom, is the fact that Lapala's able to lap pretty consistently and what he's doing, but James is just having a few little moments with the rear of the car, just letting go on him, and the nose not doing what he wants to do. Still keeping the lap time, but doesn't look as comfortable as what Lapala's able to do.
Yeah, I've been noticing that as well. It seems to be a bit dodgy getting onto the power more than anything. It's getting on the power, and I think the rear is maybe a bit too cold, not quite at optimum temperature, and it's giving him a bit of troubles on the acceleration. But like I said, he's keeping the times well. He hasn't been able to get quicker like Lapala has. As stint goes on for Lapala, he's getting quicker and quicker, whilst James is just sort of staying the same. So whether or not it's just the prime tyre's not been up to temperature, or whether he's just not feeling comfortable, we don't know. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Most definitely, we just have to see how it balances out as soon as Lapala makes his stop. His pit request light did just flick on, and it's gone off again now. So we could start to see some of the option compound runners dive into pit lane as the weather seems to change once again. It's going a little bit bluer, so it's teasing us at the moment here, Tom. But we are expecting rain at some point, I believe.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty of it, isn't it, really? But I'd like some rain, would spice them up a bit even better, wouldn't it? But for now, yeah, we've got a nice race, especially in the midfield. I mean, Scott Bennett's still quite close to Cinder Grimseth, so there is battles going on throughout the field, so it's not boring at the moment, which is always nice to see. But for options, I don't know when they're going to be coming in. I think it's going to be about the 16 lap mark if they've done enough testing. And I think 16 laps, 17 laps is about the time we'll see option people come in, whilst primes I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard too much about them, so how many more laps James can get on the primes is going to be interesting to see.
It will, especially as Vanilla Pala did a 132.2, but James Shepherd did a 131.7. That's quite a large difference that James Shepherd's just pulled back there. It's come down to 4.6 seconds between the pair of them, as Lapala goes through sector 1, being a 0.16 down on his own time. James Shepherd, he's pretty much matched his own time currently, so he's going well. So at the moment is James Shepherd. Yeah, and the time is coming down, especially because it's down to 3.7. So Lapala's just starting to dwindle slightly with these tyres, whereas James Shepherd's starting to come on strong as he goes through the sector 2, being where is he at now? Oh, 0.8 down. So that lockup did cost him. James Shepherd's on one of the fastest sector 1s currently, so the time's starting to change and the tyre crossover starting to come in, and we're on lap 12 currently. Oh, Will Trinkus is off to the left-hand side there. Just has to go careful coming back on the track, as it looks like Lapala will dive into pit lane this time by, but James Shepherd's caught up a lot on this lap. And will he pull to the right? Yes, race leader Villa Lapala dives into pit lane, and James Shepherd will continue on those prime tyres.
Tell you what, the person on that track is going to be the happiest man. It's got to be James Shepherd. I mean, on the last lap, I've just noticed he set the fastest sector 3. He's just set another 131.7, so he really is pushing now to get the advantage of these tyres whilst Lapala's in the pit lane. We'll just see if Lapala goes on to hard.
Ryan Walker's carried on, though. I thought Walker would have pitted at the same time, but he hasn't. Ryan Walker's carried on. So Walker carries on. Lapala's into pit lane, leaving Bennett's now. Where is Grimseth, his teammate? Way back down, so he's going to come out in third. But that's 9 seconds behind Ryan Walker.
Yep, Lapala's also gone back out on option, so he's definitely going to have to pit at least one more time, as Bennett's also in pit lane. But Bennett goes onto the prime tyre, so will Bennett need to stop again? Oh, Weeks is also in, so there's Ben Warren up to a 5th position. Great run from Ben Warren, he's up into 5th position.
So James Shepherd leading the way at the moment. He's 9.5 seconds in front of Ryan Walker. With Villa Lapala, he's come out 10 seconds behind. So Grimseth is in 4th. We'll have to see how this all shakes out eventually, but there's some interesting strategy going on at the moment as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lapala didn't actually go on to the prime tyre there. I thought it'd be sensible to get it at least out of the way. Obviously now...
Seems what most people are doing. Most people seem to be doing that. So as I say that, though, 2/10 improvement here for James in the middle sector. He could be on for the fastest lap of the race, and it's on lap 13, so these tyres are starting to come towards him potentially here now. As he dives through the final corner, Ryan Walker is coming towards the final corner as well, as James Shepherd does. Oh, he's just off. He's matched it again, a 1:31.7, so he's done exactly the same again. Ryan Walker carries on, so he's making his options work at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be the only one who's actually managed to get him to work. Ben Warren also hasn't pitted yet, and he's still going on as far as I know. So, yeah, Ben and Warren seem to have got their options to last a little bit longer. I know everyone who's gone to the pits, except for Lepolo, who did start on options, has gone to primes. I know Wicks, he's gone on to primes. Bennett, Roy started. Weeks has gone on to the primes. Yeah, so it seems everyone's trying to get at least the primes out of the way and maybe go on to the options for the final stint to get a bit more speed. But always Vallon has a massive off after the exit of the chicane, down in 12th place. Turning it back now to go the correct way. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what the strategies play out. Got a long way to go still, obviously. That's Ben Warren's actually in the pits now, switched onto the prime tyre.
Yeah, this is what we were all promised with this RFE, is the fact that we get varying strategies, and this is exactly what we got at the moment, with some people going back out on the option tyre if they've already been on it, or some switched across to the prime. And once again, those clouds look pretty menacing. They are rolling in, but still no rain at the moment.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
Jordan Weeks also just had a drive through there, so potentially speeding in pit lane. So he's dropped backwards through the field, unfortunately. He's now coming to the clutches of Dale Stones, who's made a stop already. Yeah, Dale Stones has already stopped. Jordan Weeks went through twice. The people that haven't stopped yet are Dimitri Demumeister. He's not stopped. Roy Schroeten's yet to stop. We've also got Sindre Grimseth. He's yet to stop. Ryan Walker's yet to stop. And he's the one that's gone longest on these option tyres at the moment. He's really stretched them out with good speed as well, it has to be said. Very good speed. He's holding that gap at 10.8 seconds to La Pala. So Ryan Walker's having a good run at the moment. James Shepherd's 9.8 seconds further down the road. He did a 32.3 last lap to a 32.5 of Ryan Walker. 32.7 for La Pala. He's on the fresh tyres as well.
Yeah, it looks like La Pala, although he has got much more fuel, so I know fuel takes a lot of effort this year to actually get the time down. But Sindre Grimseth has just gone to pits and put the primes on, so it seems the team themselves have actually split the strategy.
Yep, split strategy.
Very interesting. I just noticed also James Shepherd had a bit of a slow lap because he did get held up a little bit coming out of the final chicane, so lost a bit of time. I
wonder if this is Petter Kassa also just putting his strategy brain on and splitting his drivers and to see if he can get the best out of both of what they're doing, as the clouds look like they're rolling in once again, but we said that twice already and there's been nothing. James Shepherd leads the way though with 10.7 second advantage. He's coming up on traffic of Martin Bolgin and Andreas Pestovs very shortly as well. He got held up last time round. Let's see if he doesn't, hopefully he won't this time. After what we saw last night. Oh, now is that drops of rain? It is. That is drops
raining,
of rain.
Yes.
It is raining, so we are going to see rain. It starts to rain just as James Shepherd crossed the line. That's not what he wanted to happen. He wanted that to happen much later in the lap, so it's gone across the line and it's just lightly started to rain.
Ryan Walker's also gone through. I tell you what, he will be laughing if it rains hard enough. He has not had a stop yet, and he's still in second place. He's done a brilliant job. So should it rain,
he'll keep heating those tyres longer as well.
Yeah, he is, and it's still raining pretty hard.
It is getting heavier and heavier out there. James Shepherd is coming up towards Bolgin and Pestovs as well. This is pretty menacing because it's getting wetter and they're all on the set compound still. Oh, these brakes earlier there, Martin Bolgin. As he's going to get out of the way, is he? No, he didn't get out of the way. I thought he's stopping. Now, there we go. Well played, Martin Bolgin. He's now got Pestovs to negotiate. As the rain stops momentarily.
Yes, it was at 5% wetness on the track, but it's gone down to 3%. So I think the rain hasn't eased yet, but it's going down. So I think it's just a light shower. A
light shower. So it doesn't look like anyone gambled at this point. And diving into pit lane, Ryan Walker does have his request light on as James Shepherd. He's lost 1.8 seconds because he had a big moment trying to get past Pestovs. Ryan Walker's not really had much more luck. Let's see his middle sector. He was 1.7 off, so it's only a 10th difference. So he's played it very, very cautiously. 12.1 seconds difference between Shepherd and Walker. And it looks like Walker's going to be diving into pit lane. He needs to realise, though, don't switch those wet tyres because there's just no need now.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't get too carried away. I mean, I think
Shepherd carries on.
Yeah, I think
James Shepherd definitely has carried on.
Yeah, I think it's gone down to 0% wetness on the racing line now. But it's actually started raining again. And Walker's just come
It
in.
has. It has. It started raining, and Walker's come into pit lane. Will he realise?
Oh, it's gone up heavily. It's gone up very heavily. It's gone up to 5% immediately. So I think it's raining
Straight away.
harder.
What will he do? Will Walker change?
He's
got prime.
Oh, this could be a very bad decision.
Could be fatal for Ryan Walker. It's definitely getting heavy, and he's moved on to the prime tyre. Now, let's see. Lapala's gone through. It's definitely wet out on track there. 31.6 for Lapala. James Shepherd is coming up on Vannanen at the moment. He's 6/10 off in Sector 1. He's still making the slick tyres work, though, but that rain is definitely getting heavier this time. We're not seeing the spray off the cars just yet. Ryan Walker comes out on those prime tyres. They're going to be so cold as well now. And
obviously, with the track getting colder, it's not going to help it. And Scott Bellett's actually got very close to Grimseth in, what place are we in here? 5th position, 6th position, so that could be a battle to watch out for. But yes, the track's got a little bit drier with people going over it, but it hasn't stopped raining, so this is going to be a very interesting.
James Shepherd is... Oh, there we go, there's a spray. Nikita Koniec in front of him.
Yes, it's just...
The spray signs come up. Yeah, Koniec's gone wide, and Shepherd's going to have to try and get round him. He does. Well played, James Shepherd. He's negotiated round him. Now, where's Vanilla Palla?
James Shepherd's lights on.
Back.
Shepherd's pit lights on. It's got to 11% wetness, and I think it's still... Oh, it's gone down to 10. Oh, but it's gone round again, so it looks like he's turned it off.
He's gambled. He's gambled the fact that it's going to be lights. But where's Vanilla Palla? Is he going to come into pit lane? It's 20 seconds of difference. It's 4.6 seconds he's just lost on that one lap alone as James Shepherd's. And
it is still getting wetter. I think it may be time.
Yeah, 2.3 was lost by Lapala. As he's coming through the final corner now, it's 20 seconds still, so I think he's going to have lost at exactly the same time. Vannanen pits. And what's the time here for Lapala? 5.2. He lost even more time in the end for the final sector.
Yeah, look, it's gone up to 20%. Wicks has got his pit light on.
No, Wicks is the one that could benefit here because he'll be the first one to go on to wets.
Lapala's spun!
Yeah, Lapala's...
He's out! I think he's... Oh, is he... No, he's still managed to keep
Abbas! Abbas is at the same point.
And what?
O'Connor's just slipped by, so there might have been an instant... Where's Wixie? Wixie's at the moment. Wixie's at the moment as well. Lucy's at the moment.
It's definitely time for wets now.
James Shepherd, he's really struggling. They're already struggling. Look at them, they're just tiptoeing around. This is incredible. Lapala can't even get past O'Connor. Vannanen's come out on wet tyres.
Grimseth's had an incident as well. Yeah, Grimseth's lost a wheel. Grimseth's lost a wheel from 5th place. Oh, Ben Warren's also had an
incident. Who's in? Wixie's in. I knew it. Wixie's coming. He's going to be the first one to say wet tyres. This might work out fantastically for him.
Bennett's in as well. Roy's in as well.
They're all diving into pit lane, but Wixie's been the first one to take the advantage of this. He's just got to get out of pit lane. Oh, he nearly got collected by Dan Rusu there. So Wixie now is away. Now where's James Shepherd? James Shepherd is coming up to the left-hand and he's understeered.
So when all Ben Warren's had a spin in the final corner, that's an awkward place, but everyone's out of the pits now. But
Villa Palo is on the back part of the track. This is just hurting him so much. Where's Ryan Walker? Oh, the bastard just spun right in front of Ryan Walker. Oh, that was so close to taking him out there from 3rd place. James Shepherd's in pit lane. He's got the wet tyres on.
This is going to hurt Ryan Walker a lot. He may even lose 3rd place to Wicks here.
Wixie's on it. Wixie is absolutely on it. He's dialed into those tyres straight away. He's up towards the Sector 1 beam now. Where's Ryan Walker? He's just entered turn 13.
Yes, he has, and he's losing time every single second.
13 seconds he lost in the middle sector alone. Yeah, Lapala's not pitted. Our director, Simon Meliosh, is absolutely right. Vili Lapala has not pitted.
It is getting drier. It's getting drier
as well.
It is very slightly getting drier. I'm not sure. The rain's coming down a bit heavier now. Grimseth's pitted, and he's actually managed to repair his wheels, so he's still in this race. He's still, albeit down in 13th.
Mark Wicks is in 4th place. James Shepherd still leads this race, 17.8 seconds.
Vannanen hasn't pitted either.
As Lapala and Walker are tiptoeing around the track, trying to negotiate the wet conditions. Wixie's some 35 seconds behind Ryan Walker because he's pitted, but he is taking time out of him.
Taking a lot of time out of him, yeah. Quite a few drivers haven't actually pitted. We've got Lepala and Walker obviously top, 2nd and 3rd, but we've got go down to 8th place. O'Connor hasn't pitted, Loknowski hasn't pitted, Vannanen hasn't pitted either. So a lot of drivers, I think they're trying to brave out, but then what I was thinking is, when do you get to the point of it's might as well just go on wets? You're losing too much time on the dries. If it does dry out, you've lost the advantage of not pitting anyway. So it's getting to the point of just pit. It may just be the best decision.
Yeah, 8.2 seconds, 8.8 seconds was lost there for Villalapala, and James Shepherd something very similar. So the tyres are not really that crossover point just yet. James Shepherd's going through the final corner. Lots of understeer obviously on those wet tyres, and Lapala, he's just tiptoeing around. Where's Ryan Walker? Same gap back. No, Wixie's taking 2 seconds out of Ryan Walker, in fact.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the right decision to be on the wets in a moment. I mean, whilst the online may be getting a bit dry, offline it will be very wet. So if you put a wheel wrong, you'll go off.
Absolutely, and Lapala is coming towards the line now, and he has just done a 47.0, and James Shepherd was the... What did he just do? 46.7, yeah, so there's not much difference between it. Dan Rusi moves out the way for James Shepherd, who's leading this race on lap 20. Believe it or not, we're only on lap 20, we've still got the 17 to go, as Lapala just about gets the car stopped down at turn 3, that was lucky. As Ryan Walker is 13.7 seconds still behind. Looks like Wixie's charge has come to a halt because it's gone back out to 35 seconds back from Ryan Walker. Thought he might have been able to take a bit more of an advantage. And there's a dry line now, in fact. The dry line's appeared.
Yeah, I'm just looking at RFU now. The track wetness on the dry line is going down quite significantly. But like I said earlier, if someone puts a wheel on the wet line, the offline, sorry, it'll still be getting wetter. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? But whilst it keeps drying up, the people on dry tyres may have made a good decision here.
Yeah, the rain is coming down, but there is just the faintest of dry lines where obviously when the cars run over the track, it's just natural, the fact that they will suck up the water and spray out the back even when it's still raining. But nevertheless, the rain gets lighter and the dry line starts to appear, and these wet tyres are just going to start screaming soon as you can all see on the broadcast, those blue tyres, blue wall tyres, they are the wet compound tyres that we have for this 2013 GPVWC season across all leagues as well. 2 seconds. Lapala has just found 2 seconds on James Shepherd because it's gone from 19.7 to 17.7, and Lapala has definitely got more grip through the final corner as well.
Yeah, that track wetness is now down to 15%. It was at 29%. It's down to 14% now. So I think the rain is definitely seeding. So it's going to be...
Shepherd's just had a huge understeer moment in turn 3 as well.
He's pit lights on. His pit lights on. I think James Shepherd's coming back in.
We have to point out as well, there are no intermediate tyres. It's just simply slicks to wets. There are no intermediate tyres. So you really have to gamble on when you switch these tyres over. And at the moment, James Shepherd, he's on the wet tyres, and Villalapala is on the option softest compound tyre, and 17.1 seconds behind. But there's a drying line at 16.4. It's coming down every single corner. In fact, he goes through turn 6, and it's 15.8. It's come down to.
Yeah, Ryan Walker also in third place on the prime tyre. So that's
Ryan Walker on the prime tyre. Didn't make any inroads into Lapala though. And
no,
Mark Wicks is some 38 seconds back. Oh, he's just missed the pit lane.
Bennett's back in. Bennett's gone back onto the dries.
Looks like, he's diving into pit lane now. Where's Roy Schroten? Roy Schroten, he's also on the wets. Through.
Oh, yeah, Scott's back onto the options.
He's gone on the options, yeah.
Now, could this be a masterstroke from Bennett?
It potentially could be to help him up through the field, especially if he gets them working straight away and doesn't get offline too much. Yeah, he's the first one to gamble.
Weeks has also got his pit light on, so...
Yeah, James has not dived into pit lane. He's gone to the right-hand side to try and cool the tyres down. This is absolutely legitimate what you have to do with these tyres. You have to go offline to cool them down like you would do in real life. He's pulling to the left-hand side to take more of that water up to cool these wet tyres down, because on the racing line at the moment, they're just overheating.
Yeah, look, he's just really... Yeah, he's had to go off.
Scott Bennett is come out. He's got to go very, very careful. 3.9 was the last time round for him. He was off.
I think the rain's getting heavier, Nick. I think the wetness has just gone back up. So
it has. It's starting to get heavier again.
Yeah, it's got up to 16%. So I think Scott Bennett may have just come in at the very worst time.
Yeah, this may have actually cost Bennett. So the weather is constantly changing at the moment. Completely unpredictable weather, and it's a battle between if Shepherd can make these wet tyres last. It's down to 10 seconds between Lapala and Shepherd now.
5-second loss.
Exactly right. What he's just pointed out there, a 40.4 for Villalapala plays a 45.4 for James Shepherd. That's only 5 seconds quicker. The difference between the Shepherd and Lapala is catching him still. He's come up towards the sector 2 beam now, and it's a 5.1 seconds. He's lost 7.8 for James Shepherd. That's 2 seconds. So Lapala is definitely catching him.
This is the point where the weather is starting to get heavier again. So, as Ryan Walker has a moment, he just gets it stopped in time. It's a good braking manoeuvre there from Ryan to stop it going off, but it's at that crossover point. What do you do? It's just tricky. I mean, Scott Bennett's the one who's lost out the most if it does keep to rain, which would be a huge shame for him. He's doing a brilliant job. He's still in 7th place.
The dry line is also starting to disappear again now. Yeah,
so that's making it trickier. Scott Bennett's actually quite lucky. He's got
45.4 for James Shepherd. 41.1 for Lapala. It's still okay for him. It's still working.
The rain
out.
is seeding.
The gap.
I think the rain's got slightly lighter as well. So yeah, dry line's coming back.
Yeah, dry line's coming back once again. This part of the track actually is drier than the other side of the track, so it's working okay this side. Rain's still falling, but not as badly, or not as heavily. But Lapala's got to go careful because he's coming up on De Cognac and his teammate Grimseth as well. These two are battling for the lower positions, and he's coming up on a pair of them.
Obviously, Grimseth will be out there to help.
Cognac's going to pull to the right, is he? He does indeed. This is going to put Lapala offline, though, and he's on the dry tyres. He needs to get back online and break on the dry line. He has done as he comes up towards his teammate now. James Shepherd.
Lights on. The pit light is on.
Yes, it is. Lapala's flicked on and then went back off again. That's 4 second first sector, 6.5 middle, 2.9 first, 5.2.
Yeah, what we've got to remember, Lapala hasn't actually gone onto the wet tyre, so he will still have to use that prime tyre should the rain stop.
Absolutely, he still has to switch over either onto the wet tyre or he will have to go onto the prime tyre. He can't use he can use the options again, but it just means he has to make another stop.
Rain stopped. I can't see any rain on my screen.
Rain stops. Shepherd's in. James is back into the pit lane. This will give race lead back to Lapala.
Jordan Weeks is also in pit lane. He's gone back onto dry tyres. So Scott Bennett got it right in the end. But yeah, James onto the options. Yeah,
Lapala has gone through and options for James Shepherd. Now where's Ryan Walker? He's coming into turn 13 now, so he's not going to be catching in anytime soon. So Shepherd leaves now. It's 9. It's going up more and more.
We've got a battle for 4th place between Wicks and Schroten, both on wet tyres. Only
absolutely,
3 tenths.
Schroten's actually caught him.
And Ryan Walker, whilst he hasn't been on the wet tyres, he's actually on the prime, so he won't have to use that prime again in this race, which is why Lepala is in a bit of a worse position, because whilst Lepala, he didn't go onto the wets, he's got to use both tyres, he's only used the options so far, so he will have a disadvantage towards the end of the race.
He absolutely will. 12 seconds the difference between James Shepherd and Villalapala, and Shepherd has gone onto the option compound now as well.
Schroeter's got a run on Wicks, going into turn 13. I don't know if he can do it offline, though. That'd be a brave move, yet he backs out of it very sensibly there. It's still very wet offline, remember. Oh, Wicks has gone a bit wide, though. Or can Roy take advantage? Oh, he can. Very good move there from Roy to take advantage of Wicks having a bit of a moment. So that's put Roy Schroeter into 4th place after starting 15th on the grid. So brilliant race so far from Schroeter to get up into that high.
Absolutely.
Wicks is in.
Yeah, Wicks has come back in. So Wicks is coming in for the dry tyres now.
And that's lost him a place to Scott Bennett. So Bennett's up to 5th place. Actually, Bennett will end up 4th with Roy Schroeter having to pit again. So
yeah, 3.3 seconds. He's only 3.3 seconds, but he might actually catch him on track. So this is working out beautifully for Scott Bennett at the moment. That gamble's paid off for him.
Yeah, look, he's taking 6 attempts out of Roy in just 1 corner.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah, he has. He's catching Roy hand over fist. Roy needs to go and get some new tyres as well now, as he's coming up towards Will Tringas.
Yeah, Tringas, I think, is on the wet, so
yeah, so Scott Bennett is flying at the moment. Yeah, look at the time he's pulled out already. He's nearly caught Roy Schroeter. Yeah, he's basically on him now. We've got a yellow flag out as well around this part of the circuit. It's moved out the way, so Ryan Walker's carried on again. Villalapala, he's also carried on. So Lapala will have to go and get those yellow compounds prime tyres.
Scott had a bit of a moment under break, and that's what I was talking about being offline. You can't overtake offline, it's still too wet. Scott
he should have the raw straight line speed though, but Roy's closed the door on him. So this is the dry line and the slick compound against the wet tyres of Roy Schroten. He can put his car pretty much anywhere at the moment, unless they're too hot. And so he will should be able to pass. And Will Tringus pulls to the left-hand side. Good driving, Will Tringus. Down the inside it goes Scott Bennett. Does he? No. Wow, so close. Bennett's all over him because he's got the better grip. But Schroten's put up the defence. He'll probably peel off to the right into pit lane. Oh, he's nudging him. He's nudging him. Oh, he's nudging him again. That's Scott. That's a little bit naughty. He should know he's going to dive in. There we go. He has done. So Bennett carries on.
Yeah,
a little bit naughty from Scott there.
Yeah, if I was Scott, I would have waited. I would have known he's going to come in. I would have waited maybe a couple of. I knew Roy would have gone in, so I would have waited a bit. But yeah, just like the race director said, Roy Scott actually did slow down for him. So gentlemanly there from Scott after what was a bit of a naughty move. But he is up to 4th place now. So brilliant driving from Scott today. Zablas has actually left again.
35.9 was the last lap for Villers-Lapala. 34.2 for James Shepherd. 8.5 seconds is the gap.
Yep, and it was 10 seconds a couple of laps ago. So James has definitely got the inroads whilst he's got these option tyres on now.
Yeah, he's got the option tyres on and he is flying. Of course, he doesn't have to stop again if he doesn't want to. But Lapala has to go and take those prime tyres still yet because he's only used the option tyres currently.
Yeah, and we saw how much Lapala was pulling away from James Shepherd. So it's going to be a very interesting end to the race.
Yep, so we were on lap 26, and he's on the 3rd lap on these tyres at the moment, is James Shepherd, and he is closing in.
Oh,
6/10, he's lost his second. Whoa! Oh, Lapala's hit the wall! Lapala's hit the wall, going for the fastest cane. He's trying to avoid Vannanen, and he's hit the wall. James Shepherd. He's had a moment as well. They're going to go side by side as they go down towards turn 13.
James done it.
James has gone around the outside. He's passed him.
Lapala's coming in.
Shepherd had a big moment as well through the fast chicane, but Lapala was trying to avoid Vannanen and hit the wall on the left side.
Look, he looked like he kept his wing, so I'm not sure if he's any damage. I'm not sure if he managed to tap the wall, but he has got his pit light on, so Will Lapala, he's coming in.
Yeah, he's touched the wall, and Lapala is into pit lane. James Shepherd takes the lead of the race again as he comes up towards the line now. It was a time of a 1:34.3.
You have to think now this is James Shepherd's race 1. He's got no more stops to make. Will Lapala put the primes on?
Well, remember he's had a bit of a moment there, has Lapala, and also Ryan Walker. It doesn't have to stop again, so Lapala is leaving the pits now. Ryan Walker is coming up to the second to final corner. He's gone into the left-hander now as Lapala goes into turn 1. And Ryan Walker's through the final corner. So it's 14 seconds of gap between Lapala and Walker.
But now Walker's tyres will be warmed up and he will have less fuel. So Walker, in theory, should be quicker. And Lapala, he may be nursing damage that's unrepairable, remember. So we've still got some time to tell. But Lapala has gone onto the prime tyre. That was, he hits that ramp on the exit at turn 4, that deadly anti-cut. So
yeah, he's taking the prime tyres now, so he's completely legal for the rest of the race now. That's good work from Villers-Lapala. He switched tyre compounds as the skies become a little bit blue, but also looks like we're coming into that sunset phase. Get a little bit of red in the sky.
Yeah, it's a lovely little image there as Ben Warren pulls out of the way of Scott Bennett there. Scott Bennett doing a good job in 4th place. Jordan Weeks has dropped a place from his grid slot in 5th, but he's doing a good job. And he's got Wicks about 5 seconds behind him, so that's the one to watch to the end of the race. Roy Schroten another 5 seconds behind, so that one could be played out for the rest of the race. Pavel Oknovsky actually in 8th place. He was down in 17th, 18th earlier, so he's done a good comeback drive there. I think he had a good return. It looks like O'Connor's in the pits. He didn't have a wheel, I think our race director just told us, so that's must have had a crash somewhere along the line.
Looks like he's had a bit of a moment. O'Connor's in the pit lane. Grimseth will go by as Grimseth is trying to pass Schroten here by the looks of it. He does indeed.
Unlapping himself from Schroten.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. He's unlapped himself from Schroten. So he goes back up into the top 10 with Ben Warren 9th, Pavel Oknovsky in 8th, Roy Schroten 7th after being Grimseth unlapping him. Mark Wicks is in 6th, but catching Jordan Weeks, and he's had a bit of a trip through pit lane today with a drive-through also. Scott Bennett is 4th place. Ryan Walker is 3rd and still 15.6 seconds behind Villers-Lapala. And Villers-Lapala is in 2nd with James Shepherd leading the way still with a 26.35 second advantage now over Villalapala on a fastest lap time of 1:31.7. But this looks like it's going to be a good lap. Oh no, he's just lost 3/10 middle sector. He actually done the fastest sector 1 then. So the track really is drying up now, and these options tyres are coming towards him.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of spray offline, but that's to be expected with the drivers not running over it. Everyone now is on the dry tyres. Martin Bolden was the last person to go onto them. He's just put the options on. So everyone back to status quo. We've got 18 runners left in this race. Had 8 retirement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 retirements so far. So not too bad. We've seen worse. So it's not a bad start to the season for the drivers here.
Not at all. It's been quite a show that they've put on as well in this first race of the season. Obviously with the changeable conditions being implemented straight away for these drivers, having to negotiate them. But Jamie Shepherd, he was 8/10 off in the end. I think he had a bit of a moment in the final sector, but he had gone fastest in sector 1, 3/10 off in the middle sector, then unfortunately lost a further 6th in the final. So the tyres are definitely starting to work for him on these option compound tyres. Hits sector 1 beam again, 10th off this time by. So it was a 32.6 for James Shepherd. Villalapala did a 35.4. So that was not a very good last lap for him at all. As Ryan Walker comes across the line, and he's still going pretty strongly. Oh no, he's actually had a bit of a moment. 5.2 seconds off there, 37.7. So I think he's had a bit of a moment in traffic possibly there for Ryan Walker. Scott Bennett's 49 seconds behind, but staying comfortably at 8.5 seconds in front of Jordan Weeks. So he's still having a very good run, is Scott Bennett at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking very set for a top 5 here. I mean, I was talking to him earlier in the week, he's having a bit of troubles with the mod. I mean, focusing a lot on helping his team, Kernel Sport, with Super League stuff. So what Scott's done today is actually quite impressive. And hats off to him. He's done a very good job today, as he's just been lapped by James Shepherd.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it just proves also how competitive Scott is in the car he's in at the moment, because obviously having to do the testing for the Super League guys, but able to jump straight in this car and do what he's doing. But we might have a little bit of a wet driver maestro on our hands with Scott Bennett.
Yeah, he wanted us to say something nasty about him, but I don't think we can manage that. I mean, he's done a very good job.
The other thing, Scott's done a great job.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting Scott to be up there, so he's done a bloody good job today, if I say so myself.
Absolutely, he's drove the wheels off that car, and he's still pushing on strong at the moment.
Yeah, Jordan Weeks is catching him a couple of seconds a lap, so I do expect Jordan Scott to be fighting towards the end of this race, but...
Yeah, and Weeks is not far off Jordan Weeks either, so we could have a 3-way scrap for 4th place potentially. He's 6 seconds off at the moment is Mark Wicks, who I think is done a wonderful job as well. Arguably might have just got that tyre call wrong, but the weather was so changeable throughout that period that I thought he actually got it right, but it dried up too fast for him to really capitalise.
Yeah, it was like I said earlier before the race even started, we can't predict the weather, and even whilst you're out there driving, you just don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, one lap it's dry, as we saw, next minute it's absolutely chucking down with rain, and 2-3 laps later it's completely dry. So, I mean, what do you do? The drivers, some of them got it right. Scott Bennett, for example, got it very correct. It's just a case of being there at the right time. Absolutely,
as they are on lap 30 currently. James Shepherd is still leading the way as the shadows start to lengthen. The time obviously getting later and later in Australia. Is a 1:31.6 his fastest lap, and he's going to come across the line and do a 1:31.9. So these tyres are working for him, and he's having no issues with running offline. Whereas it looks like Villalapala is struggling more so, 1.1 second off, and he's on the prime tyre. So the prime tyre really not working for Lapala the same way as what the option and the primes were working for Shepherd before. Ryan Walker is coming up on traffic of Will Tringas in 3rd place. And I think at the moment we've just settled into a bit of a status quo, because there's not really a great deal of battling going on throughout the field at this point in time. Oh, Will Tringas has actually just gone off, and Ryan Walker's... I think he let Walker by, in fact.
Yeah,
but
we did Tringas down in 11th. I was hoping he did. Well, when driving for my team in PB, I'd be a bit sad, but... yeah, PB Racing, actually, I was just going to say, this isn't biased at all. They're both actually doing quite a good job in 9th and 11th place. I didn't expect them to be so high up in the grid. They've done quite a good job, the boys from PB, so hats off to them.
Proud of for you?
Yeah, well, I think we're about to score more points than we scored all season last season in just one race, so that's a bit good.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what also is a bit good is the fact that James Shepherd has just done 4/10 faster than anyone else in the middle sector.
Oh wow, yes, he's really pushing it. He's just done, I think he's just done the fastest first sector as well. So.
He's done the fastest first sector. He's a little bit wide though. So can he, will he go and beat that 31.6 currently held by himself? In fact, him and Lapala have got identical top fastest lap times. But will Shepherd go and beat that? He does, 1:31.202. That drying line is really getting dry now because James Shepherd is flying on the option tyre.
Yep, that's the fastest lap by a whole 4/10. So James has definitely found his way on these tyres. Looks like Lapala made the wrong decision in going option.
Yeah, he's still 1.1 off in the middle sector. And his car's broken. Yes, that's a very good point that our directors pointed out. His car is broken as well after his moment. He is struggling quite a lot as well. So 1.1 off as he comes towards the line now. That turns into 2 seconds flat. So yeah, that damage is hurting him. But Ryan Walker's not been able to do anything to make an inroad because he's 2.5 seconds off alone on those tyres. So it's only James Shepherd that's getting it to work.
Yeah, it seems James has found something. Maybe it's a changeable conditions. Maybe he's found something in the setup that's going to aid these sorts of conditions. He's driving an absolutely flawless race so far, isn't he? He's absolutely hammering the field. Obviously not all the part of his fault. He did have an off. It wasn't totally his fault, I'd say. Well, with Yanni maybe distracting a little bit, but yeah, James has driven an absolutely flawless race. He's made another 5 seconds on this lap alone, I think. So brilliant job from James today.
Yeah, really starting to pull away now is James Shepherd, and his times, he's got no problem with the times, all the tyres at the moment with what he's running. Seems very at one with the car, our pole position man, and a lot of people's favourite for the championship also, as he comes across the line and does a 31.2 again, in fact, so he's settling into a nice rhythm at the moment.
Yeah, but now he's just got to remember not to push too hard, just bring it home. He's got a nice 40-second gap, even with a pit stop, he could easily take this win. So as long as he keeps it calm and cool, he should be seeing out this race as the first winner of the Supercup of 2013. Another interesting note to make: only the top 3 are on the lead lap. So
yeah, and Ryan Walker is a minute and 9 seconds behind, and it's a 1:31-ish lap. We've got about 5 laps to go, and it's gone up again. It's up to 1:10 now. So. It might be 2. I don't think it will, but I don't think there's enough time for James Shepherd to catch up. Oh, right. Yeah, only Vanden's had a moment there. He was beached in the wall.
Oh, that's not good for Yanni on his Supercup debut. Obviously, in the form of challenge last year, he's graduated into the Supercup. He's done not a bad job, but it looks like he's out of the race yet. But it looks like he's in pit lane now. Wasn't in a points position, so a huge shame there for Yanni to retire just towards the end, last few laps of this race.
Well, we've got some potential rain maestros on our hands anyway, and some tactical geniuses out there. And on lap 33 of this race, Tom, what's your first impression?
Oh, it's raining!
Oh, it's raining again! It's raining again, isn't it? It is. It's starting to rain again. We're on lap 33. James Shepherd will come across the line for lap 34. We've got to get ourselves to 37 yet, and it started raining again.
It's not that heavy, but it's heavy enough to muck people's minds up.
Most definitely. That's getting heavier.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's up to 5% wetness. I'm waiting for it to go up again. It probably will go to about 10%.
Yeah, Roostertail's coming out the back of the cars. This is getting heavier pretty quick. And James Shepherd's really struggling under braking there. He's coming up on Morton Verneson and Nico DeConic as well, who are going much slower than what Shepherd is at the moment. He's got to keep this under control. It's lap 30. Oh, he's oversteered as well. That was a big moment. He got it all sorted out, though, as he is 1.3 off. And someone's hit the wall in front of him. There's someone off down the road in front of James Shepherd. I think he's past it now, but...
Yeah, it's got Morton Venison and Nico DeConic ahead of him, but I think it's stopped raining again. Down to 3%. Yeah, I think it's stopped again, so
it's stopped
only
again.
A brief shower for us today, right at the end of this race. So hopefully no one's gone onto the wet tyres and panicked. But then I was going to say, before it stopped raining, is there any point going on the wet tyres? Would you have just lost more time than you would have gained?
It's starting to... It keeps stopping and starting the rain. It's 2.2, but the rain's just started getting heavy in front of James Shepherd as he's trying to catch Verneson and DeConic. And it stopped again.
It has. This is worse than it was earlier in the week. It's literally one corner it's raining, next corner it
isn't.
Yeah,
that happened literally in one corner. Dan Rusi moves out the way for Shepherd as Lapala is coming up towards Roy Schroten. He's some 40 seconds behind though, is still Villa Lapala. Not really making any inroads. Ryan Walker is trying to pass Pavel Loknovsky, the back marker there, who goes straight off.
Oh, Pavel's off!
Ryan was nearly off there as well, so it's still pretty wet down towards turn 3, and James Shepherd's just going through turn 1.
Yeah, it's different parts of the track are just different wetness levels, so it's still very tricky. The dry line is at 0%, but then, like I was saying earlier, if you get a wheel off onto that wet line, it makes braking very tricky. So people have still got to be very careful. Still 2 laps to go in this race.
Yep, and Ryan Walker he's getting hounded down actually by James Shepherd. James Shepherd is 1:21. He is 10 seconds, and Shepherd will lap Ryan Walker.
Yeah, and Ryan's just I think Ryan's just being very careful. He's just let Tringas pass. He's down about 4 or 5 places down behind him. So I think Ryan's just taking it easy to get it to the end of the race, which is a very sensible idea. Yeah.
And maybe if he laps himself, it doesn't mean you have to do many laps as well.
Yeah, so why not? Might as well. He's got a nice 30 seconds gap to Scott, so why not? He's got plenty of time to play with, doesn't he?
Shepherd's only 7... Oh, he's just knocked the wall, though. He's 7/10 off his own time, but he just clattered the wall on the left-hand side in the fast left-right chicane before the back straight. So he's still pushing on. He's got to go careful, but he sees that dry line. He's attacking it. 7/10 off his own personal best in that middle sector. He's still got the confidence. As Ryan Walker is... Oh, it's raining on the pit straight, in fact, now.
Yes, it is raining. It's raining on the track, so yeah, definitely rain. But I think it's a bit too late to have any game changes unless someone has a massive off. But it is getting quite heavy out there. It's up to 7%.
Most definitely. But James Shepherd has just actually started the final lap of the race.
Yeah, coming up to Rusu and Loknovsky now. They're both pretty sensible drivers, so I think they're both easy to get out of the way.
Yeah, Rusu's moved out of the race. So coming on to the final lap of the race, James Shepherd... And it's hammering it down.
It is. It's up to 15% wet, and that's just...
It's hammering... It's the final lap of the race, and it is absolutely hammering it down.
If this was like Spa, this would be amazing. Long lap, no dry tyres, what would happen? But yeah,
James Shepherd is short-shifting every single corner. Ville Lapala... Oh, who spun there? That's Roy Schroeton in front of Lapala. Lapala's got by, though.
Lapala's 43
seconds
Schroeton's
behind.
coming in. That's a very odd decision. He's got enough of a gap to make it work, but very odd decision for Roy to come in.
Yeah, so James Shepherd, it hammered it down for a moment there. It's slightly lighter now, but there's still rooster tails coming at the back of the cars because James Shepherd is catching Loknovsky.
Yeah, it's only 12% wet. It was at 15% at its hardest, so it has gone down. I think it actually stopped raining again now. So
it has stopped raining once again. 5 seconds the gap. Sorry, 5 seconds was lost there from James Shepherd just trying to control those tyres. On the very final lap of the race, the heavens decided to open and just give James Shepherd a bit of a heart attack there.
Yeah, it's not the nicest sight to see, is it, on the last lap of the race when you've got a 40-second lead, but it looks like they've all started taking it easy. Looks like Lepela and Ryan have just kept it slow. Ryan's obviously going on for the last lap, so I'll let you take line, James.
Absolutely. We've got James Shepherd coming around the final corner to win the very first race of the 2013 GPVWC Supercup season. James Shepherd wins for CSG Racing. A magnificent race win there. Drove superbly, pole position and the race win. The only battle really came from Ville Lapala, and he's ended up some 40 seconds back. The Aussie takes the win on home turf. Big congratulations to James Shepherd.
Yep, Scott Bennett just crossed
to see for Ville Lapala to come across the line in second place.
Yep, Scott Bennett just crossed the line in 4th. Jordan Weeks in 5th, so brilliant drive from those. Mark Wicks on his return to Supercup in 6th place. Brilliant drive from him today.
Absolutely, and we might get a bit of a target. Are they going to drive together across the line, Lapala and Grimseth? No, it looks like Lapala's going to take this one. Or is he going to wait for him?
Oh, yeah, he's going to wait.
He's going to wait for him. He's going to let him finish in front. There we go. So Grimseth's going to go across the line. Lapala comes across in second place. A great first run there, and Petacastas must be absolutely thrilled to have a second place. And Satellite Racing on their debut into Super Cup with Ryan Walker. He's got the back straight to go yet, but looking very promising for a podium on debut for the team Satellite Racing and Ryan Walker. He's just got the final 2 corners to negotiate, and he's been very, very cautious, left and then right. So on debut, Satellite Racing are going to come across the line to take 3rd place and their first podium in GPVWC. A massive congratulations to them.
Yep, Ryan celebrating their brilliant drive from all. I think all the drivers today have done an absolutely magnificent job. No major incidents to spark our minds. I think Roy Schroeter will be the last person to cross the line. He's just coming around the final sector now. I think he's actually damaged his car. We're just waiting for Roy to come around the final few corners now, coming into the third last and second last corner now. Been a brilliant race, Nick.
It was absolutely spectacular race. There was a bit of a dull moment, but as soon as that rain came, it was a bit of a game changer all round, and we saw strategy, skill driving. We saw all of it. It was absolutely awesome work there for James Shepherd, Villalapalla, and Ryan Walker.
Yeah, all three of them. Absolutely massive congratulations to them on the podium for the first race of the season. I think that race had a bit of everything, didn't it? Strategy, rain, everything. Overtakes, battles, absolutely magnificent.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll just take a few moments break here and we'll wait to see if we can get some drivers up for an interview. Scott Bennett just cheekily parked in second place as well.
Why not? He probably feels like he's got a podium stage, and I think Scott.
I think all these drivers should do for getting that car home.
Yes, I mean all drivers today have done absolutely fantastic, but Scott Bennett, I think maybe even a contender for driver of the day. I don't think anyone expected him to be up in fourth place, but yeah, like you said, everyone in the field really deserves. I think they feel like they've got a podium today. Absolutely magnificent drives.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's been a wonderful race, and we'll just take a few moments break here and see if we can get some more drivers in.
That was awesome.
Okay, we have a few drivers that have come and joined us. Unfortunately, we don't have Villalapalla from second place, but we do have race winner James Shepherd and also third place man on Satellite Racing's debut in Supercup, Mr. Ryan Walker, and also Scott Bennett. So I will start with the race winner, Mr. James Shepherd. That was an outstanding drive, sir. How was that for you today?
Thanks, Nick. It was worrying when the rain came because I wanted to risk being out on the dry tyres, but you know, you need to be on the right tyre at the right time. That's always the number one rule with open wheel racing, and it was unfortunate because I was watching the guys behind, they were staying out, and then the rain stopped and the front tyres are starting to get to about 80 degrees, which is just crucial point for the wets, and yeah, I kept delaying it, and it was nerve-wracking in that middle part of the race because it was getting to the point where but thankfully it all stopped and it managed to stabilise. And do I get an award for using all three compounds?
Absolutely. We saw you obviously switch onto the wet tyres, and we saw how much time you had actually lost to Ville in that middle part of the race. Were you concerned just how much time you had lost prior to coming to the pit lane?
Not really, because Ville had already pitted, and I was informed that he'd come back out on the option, so I knew he had to pit again, regardless. And I thought, you know, I'll take the gamble of going on the wets because I don't want to be on the dries and it bucket down, especially if you come to the fast chicane. You know, time and time again in practice, we've come into a corner and all of a sudden the rain's just picked up and you've got no traction. So yeah, I wasn't too concerned about the time I was losing until he got within 10 seconds of me, and then I thought, okay, enough's enough. The rain's not coming. I need to go back onto the dry tyres because I'll lose it if I don't.
And final question for me there: were you worried slightly when the rains just seemed to bucket down as soon as you crossed the line to start the final lap?
Not really, because I had such a big lead, and I knew that I was on the right dry tyre. The primes obviously don't have as much grip as the options in the rain. So it was a little bit of a concern, but I knew I had 40 seconds, so I could pretty much crawl around the pit limiter and make it to the end.
Okay, well, any questions from yourself there, Tom?
None that I could think of. Just magnificent race, James. Absolutely perfect. I think you've got the hat trick. So yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll move on to third place man, Ryan Walker. Ryan, that was an outstanding drive for yourself as well, and also it's obviously Satellite's first podium on debut and in Supercup. So that must be an even better feeling for you.
Yeah, I'm really over the moon. I'm exhausted at the moment, that's for sure. But at the it's the podium was worth staying out in the primes for, because I thought I seen James and Villy in front of me, and I thought there's no chance I can catch him. But so I just decided that it was not worth pushing. Then the rain came. Then I decided I was out on the primes at the time, and I thought, should I pit and change to the wets and maybe risk losing the chance of a podium? Then I just decided to try and stay out in the prime tyres, even though there was hardly any grip or temperature in the prime tyres. But I just took it carefully around the track and decided not to push, just take it to the end, and it seemed to work out.
Yeah, we did sort of question at one stage what the reason is for your tyre selection, because you were probably one of the longest people to stay out on the option tyre at the start of the race. You must have gone some 4 to 5 laps longer than what Ville Pala did. So it looks like your tyre wear, or tyre heat certainly, seems to be working quite well in Supercup at the moment.
Yeah, it works at the moment because I'm not one of these aggressive drivers that's really aggressive on the tyres, or it pushes the tyres to the edge. So I was more cautious at the start and just decided to take care of the tyres and on the opposite tyres and try and stay out as long as possible before changing to the prime tyres, because I knew that my race pace was slower on the primes, and yeah, just decided to stay out longer.
Well, that was an excellent race for you there, Ryan, and a massive congratulations. Tom, you got any questions there at all for Ryan?
Yeah, I've just got one about the strategy. When it got to the start of the race, were you worried that you'd made the wrong decision in terms of going option prime, or did you think the strategy you did was correct at the end of the day?
Well, before the race, my plan or strategy was to do a two-stop, go with the options, and if it was still sunny, switch to the primes and go to the end of the race. But that never worked out due to the rain, so it kind of went belly up. But that's the way it goes.
Still, massive well done to you, Ryan. Anyway, that was a great race, and we'll come on to now Scott Bennett. Scott, I have to say you are the biggest gambler I've ever known, but that tyre selection at that point was superb, and I think that pretty much secured the position you got today with fourth, and you must be thoroughly proud of what you've achieved there.
I did not expect to be fighting this far up the field. I'm sure normal service will be resumed soon enough.
Possibly so, but you can't take away. You've got to give yourself some credit for today, Scott. You called that tyre strategy and that strategy absolutely perfectly. So, I mean, what was going in your head, go through your head when you dived in at that point? I mean, we were saying on the commentary, what a time to dive in. You know, this could really work, because Wixie had also done it at a very similar point.
Well, I'd been considering it for a couple of laps, but I was just thought, nah, enough's enough. I can't look at the temperature of these tyres anymore. They're just overheating just so badly. I couldn't do it anymore. And so I just thought, screw it, stick on the options, because the options have got so much grip in these changeable conditions. They were just brilliant throughout the last part of the race. It unfortunately didn't work in the first part of the race because of the delays we got. I mean, I was dreading it when I saw the track temperature being so much higher after the delays than it was before, because I had to nurse those option tyres so much throughout the first stint. I was so glad when I got to put on the primes, and then it rained 2 laps later, and I just thought, okay.
Yeah, well, we saw how the start of the race wasn't exactly a dream for you, but it's the strategy that you called towards the end really got it back. Were you concerned overall at the start of the race in the fact that this could be going backwards as opposed to forwards, and was the gamble because of that?
I was just more worried about keeping it pointing the right way. The amount of races I've had before where I'm known for being slow off the line, and I get bogged down in the midfield for the first few laps, and then I end up with battered panels here and there, and it just hinders me throughout the entire race what I lose in the first few laps. So I was just focused on trying to keep it clean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I think you've done very well there. And so Tom, you got any questions there for Scott?
Well, no, I think I've pretty much covered it there, but no, we didn't give you your insults today, Scott, so sorry.
Disappointed.
Very true. And it looks like also now in the commentary box we've been joined by Jordan Weeks as well. So Jordan, great to have you along as well. How was that race for you?
Not too good, should I say. I'm happy that I got 5th, but yeah, it's not been a great day, great race.
Yeah, you looked like you struggled there a little bit, and also a drive-through. Was that through speeding in the pit lane?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, well, considering that, and obviously throughout the wet conditions, you've done very, very well to come back to 5th place. You must take a bit of pride from that.
Yeah, but most of the race I was just ultra unhappy, especially at the start of the race. So I used all that anger to drive the crap out of the car, get to that place.
Well, nevertheless, John, you've done an excellent job there. I'll just wrap this up with coming back to James Shepherd. James, after what you've just seen there today, and obviously with the wet conditions and everything, do you see your main rival becoming the Target Racing guys and Villa Pala in particular?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Can't count out Ryan though. Ryan's performance today was exceptional. Like a lot of people criticised him last year for his performances, but today I can't fault the guy, and I'm pretty sure that in some changeable conditions with his strategy calls, he's going to be right up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a race this year, to be honest.
Well, that's a massive vote of confidence there for Ryan Walker from James Shepherd, who has today won his home Grand Prix, of course, down in Australia at Melbourne, Albert Park. So from myself, Nick Rowland, and Tom Parker, it's been a wonderful broadcast, this first one. I think you'd have to say as well, Tom, really.
Yeah, we've been treated to an absolutely magnificent race. Like I said earlier, had a bit of everything. A runaway winner maybe, but yeah, had everything. Absolutely perfect, really.
Well, like I said, from the both of us, and also our cameraman and director, Mr. Simon Meluesh, it is good night, and you will see us again in 2 weeks' time for Round 2 of Supercup in Malaysia.
Yep, see you later.